It's James Banks here for Definitive Esports, and I'm here with Paul Redeye Channeler. You've done an impressive job this weekend.
Thanks.
The community has taken notice. This is your first StarCraft event, if I'm right. Second. Oh, okay. Yep. Well, they've really picked up on you this time, and then all the eyes have been watching, and they've been so pleased with you. Did you expect this response?
I didn't, if I'm honest. It's a bit peculiar because I have been around a long time, like 10 years or something now, doing this stuff. So a bit weird, but nice all the same. But I think it's just I did the Germany event 4 weeks ago for StarCraft 2 just as a presenter, and I'm doing more and more these days as a presenter rather than as a commentator. And they've just picked up on stuff. I don't know why, but yeah, feedback's been fantastic.
Well, you are an amazing presenter, but you're also such a skilled commentator. And for the people that don't know out there, you've done so much from like Counter-Strikes to the WCG stuff or the I-Series events. You even costed one of my games. And you also did the WCG recently as well with Joe. So what do you prefer at the moment? Commentating or the presenting?
That's a really difficult question, actually. I haven't really thought about it like that. I suppose I love both. I love both things. Presenting is like a real kick for me. It's about delivering entertainment. It's about psyching the crowd up in the crowd that you've got on board. It's about delivering stuff to people that are at home so they enjoy it as well. And I do get a real adrenaline buzz out of doing that. But likewise, I love you can't beat a phenomenal game that goes down to the wire, or the last round of a Counter-Strike match where it's 1v4 or something crazy, and amazing crap happens that you just it blows your mind, and you're just like. You just don't even know what. I mean, the thing is with the commentator, you are just a fan who happens to be able to talk about the game. That's all you are, really. Whereas with the presenter, it's a much different job. But I think I probably like them equally, just as much.
So you kind of had the crowd in the palm of your hand during the entire event. You worked perfectly with Tastedoses, who are obviously huge draw for everyone as well. How was it working with them two?
I've had a big experience working with both of them. Tasteless and I actually go back. The first time we worked together was 2005 in Singapore, and we've worked together pretty much every year, at least once or twice every year. So we know each other quite well. I've always gone really well with them. Nick is a kind of, he's an enigma. He's totally unique. So, and he's quite Marmite in a way. You either love him or hate him, and we've always loved him. Our Tosis I've worked with a couple of times before on WCG. I think we've always had a decent working relationship. I've hired them for other tournaments that we've done as well. So no, it was great. It was brilliant to have them in the UK. I mean, that was what was really impressive for me, was that we got them to the UK, and they blew everyone away, as I knew they would. And so the three of us all knew each other anyway, so we all worked together. We knew what we could bring to the table. So there was no issues at all, and I think they did a terrific job.
So this has kind of set the standard now for UK events. I've been to plenty, and I know you've been to probably more than me, so I have never seen anything better than this in the UK yet. Where do we go from here? How do the other organisers keep up?
I think it's good. It's good to set a new benchmark, and I'm hearing 25, 26, 27,000 concurrent viewers on the stream, which I think is maybe a record. I don't know, but it's super impressive for a UK event. I think the organisation that Ben and Luke have put on, and the guys from ESL, has been phenomenal. We've got the right casters. They did the right marketing beforehand. You've got the right people in the crowd, knowledgeable, real true fans of the game. Fantastic players, great games. It just had everything this weekend, and it's great for me. I've been waiting for a professional esports event like this for 10 years to come along and really deliver in the UK. And I wasn't sceptical beforehand, but I had some reservations, and I'm absolutely blown away by just the response has been amazing. So I think in terms of where it goes from now, it's a new benchmark, and hopefully other organisers look at it and they go, you know what, we can step up to that mark and we can exceed it as well. And that's where this begins, because this is exactly what happens in Korea, and it's exactly what happens in the US and Sweden and Germany. And I see those guys as probably the leaders alongside China as well for esports events. And I think we're knocking on the door now. I really do. So it's given me a lot of, how to say, I think I'm probably a little bit jaded towards UK events. I think that's probably what I was, and I just kind of accepted that we just weren't as good at it. And now I'm so buoyed. I'm so hyped now for more event. I want more stuff like this in the UK.
So are you more motivated to get back into it in the UK scene now?
I've never really been away. I mean, I think I was out of the limelight for a little while, sure, but I've never really been away. I've never left the esports alone. I've always carried on playing, always carried on commentating and presenting, but they're just different things. So, yeah, I mean, am I buoyed about more? Yeah, absolutely. I want the next one tomorrow. It'd be amazing.
Could your legs handle it?
My feet probably couldn't right now. You know, I've got I look dishevelled. I've got a rough tie. I've got a beer in my hand. I'm in chill out mode right now. My feet are killing me. They really are. But it's such a blissful feeling just having had a terrific tournament, and you know, the adrenaline will just keep me going for another probably a couple of days.
So let's tell me a bit about yourself and tell people out there, the man behind all the esports events, like what you're doing as a job, like the family stuff, and basically how you got started as well, because it's going to be a while since people heard all that, and you've got a whole new crowd out here watching.
Blimey, where do I start? So a guy called Yashman at Clanbase in 2002 came to me. I was playing Unreal Tournament at a pretty decent level back in the day, certainly in the top clans, and he came and he said, look, you're English, I want you to do a shellcast. And I went, what's a shellcast? Had no idea. And a guy called Ginger Ninja, who was in a clan called Levitation at the time, hooked me up with some software. It was Winamp, and it was a plug-in. It was kind of weird, and he ran me through all the setup, and I had a decent mic and a headphone anyway. So, and I went on and I just commentated how I thought. You know, I ripped on players because I played alongside them. I was like, what the hell are you doing? What the hell is that right now? Why don't you just cap the flag? You know, I'd be really vociferous in my critique, but people liked it, and I started off back in the day. We would start with 50 people tuning in, and that was fun. And you know, I would get drunk some nights and be very unprofessional and do some things that I just wouldn't dream of doing now, and just have fun with it really. And then in 2004, DJ Week contacted me, and I knew of him. I hadn't really spoken to him at the time, and he was splitting from TSN at the time to ITG, and they were looking for European casters. So they took me and Tosspot on, and yeah, I think probably people know what kind of happened really. I mean, we just snowballed, and it was just on the cusp of moving from archaic online radio to video, and so I think 2005 ESWC finals, I think, was the first really big tournament I went to where I commentated on video. I'd done a few before that in 04 and 03, some WCG qualifiers and stuff, but 05 was a big year. And I'm actually qualified in finance and law, and I'd spent years and years and years in it, and in 2005 got made redundant. They paid me off with decent salary so I could not work for anyone else, and I decided, okay, I'm going to go and see if I can do this for a living, and did that for a few years. Did the CGS stuff, Sky One, Eurosport. I had some fantastic times out in LA, lived there for pretty much 2 years. That then all went belly up when the recession hit in 2008, so I took a job with Heaven Media, not so much as an esports person, but just managing their blogs and editors-in-chief and what have you. And that kind of, it did take me a little bit out of what I was doing, but I could still go and do events, so did that. But really the biggest change for me was probably 2009, and my daughter, who was 11 at the time, came to live with me on a full-time basis. So it made events pretty tough, and obviously it changed my lifestyle, and my children are more important to me than anything else. So I altered my life, and I stopped doing events. I did, I think, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 a year in 10 and 11. She moved back with her mum last October, and it sort of freed up some time. So I just sort of put my name about a little bit. I did WCG in Korea at the end of last year, and from that, ESL contacted me and said they would really like me to come and do Kiev with them. I did Kiev with them, they loved it, and wanted me to come and do the Intel Extreme Masters finals.
No matter what language.
I don't know, so that led on to the Intel Extreme Masters, which I did. It was a fantastic event. I loved the event. One of my favourite events, I think, probably barring Singapore WCG in 05. And yeah, it's sort of kind of snowballed from then, and I've done, 7 or 8 events already this year, and that's as much as I've done probably since 2008.
So you had such a spectacular career, and you've seen so much change in this business. What do you see for the future of esports, really?
I think it's an ebb and flow industry. It's the sort of thing that, some years I'm sort of like, when CGS first hit in 07, it's kind of like, wow, we've got a $50 million tournament in place, and worldwide television rights, 350 million households, live in HD in the US, Mike Burks, 12 times Emmy Award-winning producer, who's produced the Olympics, the NFL Super Bowl, doing our show for video games. And I thought, you know what? We've arrived. This is eSports. And of course it didn't work. And it didn't work for a number of reasons that I'm not going to go into. It's pointless now. It's history. But it's interesting because after that I think there was a bit of a lull. And now actually there's starting to become a bit of a rise. And I love the fact that Blizzard, for instance, have come along, pumped a huge amount of money into the World Championship Series that they've got. Basically it's StarCraft 2, and it's maybe not my first choice of games, I'm the first to admit that, but I do enjoy the game. I do see the skill, and I do appreciate the great pieces. I mean, there have been some fantastic games today, and I'm able to appreciate the game and the players and the way that they play. So, I think we're on the up again. I really do.
No, it's good to hear. This has definitely been a huge boost, and you can see that everything's growing. And you look at developers like Blizzard and Riot, for instance, who are doing great things for the games. Now I'm going to fire a last couple of questions at you. Sure. Who's been your favourite player this tournament, and which has been your favourite game? And do you think Zerg is OP or not?
Controversial questions all round. Favourite player of the tournament? I think that's such a tough question. I think from a presenter's point of view, probably the Muslim, because he is so professional and he's such a joy to work with on a stage. He answers the questions fully. He gives something back every time. I love giving him questions that he can get his teeth into. Wears his heart on his sleeve, so I really like him as a player. I think, though, I have to give it probably to Johnny Recco. I think he's for me, he's going to be the next child, sort of young prodigy kind of. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly how it feels. That's exactly how, and I think he's got a massive future. And the kid's so calm, he's so chilled out, and he's 16, and it's just unbelievable. I think my daughter's 13 now, and she's 3 years behind this kid, and he is unbelievable. So I would probably just give it to him by a smidgen. Is Zerg OP? Yeah, maybe. Probably is right now, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Again, the game ebbs and flows, and it will. And it wasn't OP; it was under, and now it's OP, and they'll fix that again. The trouble is that I think what a lot of people don't understand about the game is that it is a dynamic game. It isn't that Zerg may be OP now, and I think arguably it probably is. But they'll change things in the dynamics, and then because of the way the players adapt to it, it makes something else OP. Yeah. I don't think there's ever going to be a time when absolutely everything is balanced perfectly. You could argue that Brood War was, but you know what? There were periods in time where Zerg dominated.
It was based on maps for Brood War.
Absolutely. So
everything, the units never changed, and it's just maps created.
Right, and so I think it. Yeah, absolutely will. I think the game is still. Maturing, and I think that's a great thing because it bodes well for the next maybe 10 years for that game, and that would be amazing.
Well, we're going to round this up now, get you some more drink down you and some relaxing. One thing I want to say is, would you like to say anything to the Reddit people out there, and also tell them your Reddit, because there was a fake Redeye on there, wasn't there? There was someone. Well, you're the real Redeye, aren't you? There was a normal Redeye as well. And we knew it wasn't you, so I just wanted to clear that up. Yeah, just final words, anything you want to say out there?
My real Reddit account is Real Redeye. It's not verified. I had no idea what verified means or even whether I can be verified, but that is me, okay? So I am Real Redeye on there. Guys on Reddit, I know that you are probably one of the most vociferous, argumentative, negative, positive people out there, and I like that about you, and I'm really thrilled that you've given me such amazing feedback this week, both positive and negative, and trust me, I have read the negative stuff too, and I think it's great because it only means I can improve for the next tournament. So for all of you guys on Reddit, thanks very much for the support, for the comments, and hopefully we'll do some more StarCraft soon.
Well, thank you very much, Redeye. It's been a pleasure. Catch up with you soon at some other events. Sure. This is the final video for our WCS UK Nationals coverage. It's been a blast. We'll catch you guys at the next event.